Assault rifles are super popular in Call of Duty since they're generally really versatile and easy to use. They lend themselves well to basically any play style in the game, assuming you know how to kit them out. Today, we are bringing back an older topic. We haven't updated this in several years. Today, I'm going to go over what I think are the 20 best assault rifles in Call of Duty history. That's right. We're bringing back the top 20, so let me know in the comments what top 20 topics you would like to see us refresh. Drop a like on the video. Give me your list of the 20 best ARs in COD history. Welcome to the channel, everybody. At number 20, the MV4 in Infinite Warfare. Obvious pick out of the gate. The MV4 was a futuristic equivalent of the classic M4 rifle. It was also your starting gun in Infinite Warfare. Now, the MV4 wasn't super crazy with the stats. It wasn't overpowered. It was just one of the most popular guns in the entire game because it was easy to use. It was a laser beam, had some very generous damage values that made it a great choice for sitting in a corner or a head glitch and just picking away at enemy players from across the map, which that was an annoying way to play, but you can't deny it was successful. May have been an annoying gun, but great rifle, solid start. Before we move on, guys, do me a favor, make sure you're subscribed to the new Chaos Let's Play channel. Help me get us to 1,000 subs right after this video goes live. Link is at the top of the description. I would love to see you guys over there. At number 19, I can't believe I put this so low. The Galil in Black Ops, one of my all-time favorite weapons. It was extremely popular because of the big magazine, the manageable recoil, and the very generous damage. Don't worry about the dangly handle, we don't care. The fire rate was 750 rounds per minute, which is moderate, but you never needed more than full bullets to kill anybody. It made it super consistent. It was reliable in a game where it's pretty difficult to go up against a FAMAS. And who can forget how awesome this thing sounded with a suppressor attached to the end of it? Now, it kind of stings to put it this low on the list because of how much nostalgia I have attached to it and how connected I am, but I'm trying to be objective here, and even though I loved it, it's probably the 19th best AR in COD history. Remember, there's a lot of amazing ARs that we're going to talk about in this video, so even though it's at number 19, that's a respectable spot in showing, given how much competition is coming ahead of it. At number 18, the Honey Badger in COD Ghost. Easily the most popular rifle in that game. The Honey Badger, it had everything. Integrated suppressor, super clean iron sights, one of the best reload animations in FPS history, not COD, FPS. The pitter-patter of the bullets was an awesome sound to hear as you ran around the map. You stayed off the radar. You melted people back to the lobby with just a few bullets. Perfect for aggressive playstyles and extremely strong at longer ranges as well, all while keeping you stealthy and off mini-maps. Yep, the built-in silencer. Piece of COD history for sure. At number 17, now here's where it gets crazy. The ACR in Modern Warfare 2 2009. Yeah, the laser beam was one of the most popular guns in the game. It was accurate, easy to beam people from across the map, quite literally had no recoil when you pull the trigger, and that accuracy was an incredible attribute to the game this ridiculous. The ACR was only held back by the low base damage. Often took 4 to 5 shots to kill, which could sometimes feel a little weak in a game like Modern Warfare 2, but the accuracy and the fire rate more than made up for it. Remains one of the most beloved guns from this game to this day. So many people would have put this in their top 5 list, and a couple years ago, I might have as well, but not anymore. At number 16, the BAL 27 in Advanced Warfare. I know, some of you guys are going to yell at me for putting it this far down the list since it was so dominant in Advanced Warfare, but I'll explain my reasoning really quick. While the BAL was extremely strong, super spammed, the gun itself really wasn't crazy. It was just way easier to use than everything else and way more versatile. The gun itself was high tier. Probably the best overall gun in the game, but that's because basically everything else was underpowered compared to it, not the other way around. Remember, we're talking about all the assault rifles in all of Call of Duty history, so even though it's at number 16, it's still an insanely strong ranking because there have been literally hundreds of ARs in the franchise so far. I'm putting the BAL at 16. Definitely the best gun in Advanced Warfare, but telling you, the rest of this list was just better when you stack it up against the rest of the ARs in COD history. At number 15, the STG-44 in COD Vanguard. Now, even though Vanguard wasn't my cup of tea, I can recognize how crazy some of the guns were, and the main one that always stood out to me was the STG. It was a starting rifle in the game, haha, and arguably the best as well. Full auto rifle, no recoil, generous damage, a whole bunch of attachments you could load into it to make it even crazier. There were some completely busted builds of this gun floating around the Vanguard community for the longest time, and even though Sledgehammer nerfed it once or twice, it did not fade from the meta. It's an amazing gun that just couldn't be nerfed hard enough to fall out of the spotlight, probably because it was a default unlock for some reason, who knows? At number 14, the Scar H in Black Ops 2. The Scar is one of the most iconic rifles in Call of Duty history because of how many times it's appeared, but a lot of people would argue this version is the best we've ever gotten. You know what? I agree, and this gun is still underrated. The Black Ops 2 Scar, moderate fire rate. Recoil took a little getting used to it. The damage was insane. Rarely needed more than 1, 2, 3 bullets to drop somebody. It was one of the few full auto guns in the game that could actually get a 2-shot kill if you aimed high. Plus, those iron sights are some of the cleanest in COD history, meaning you never had to sacrifice one of your pick 10 slots on an optic. The Scar with a stock and a suppressor was nuts. And if you go in the comments and you argue about this and you try to say, no, this wasn't, I promise you, you didn't play with this gun. You didn't experience it like me and the others did. At number 13. The M16 in Black Ops 3. This supply drop rifle didn't seem like much when it was added to the game, but it didn't take long for people to realize it's busted. 3-round burst rifle, moderate fire rate, but incredibly low recoil, insane 1-burst kill range, just with 1 attachment equipped. The M16 could 1-burst kill from across any map in the game, and since this was back in when COD guns were all hit scan instead of projectile, it was really easy to abuse the damage potential. The Black Ops 3 M16 was nuts, and the fact that it was locked behind supply drops just pissed people off. It's one thing to get killed by a default unlock, or even a late unlock, but getting killed by something you don't even have and you don't have control to get over can be one of the most tilting things in the history of Call of Duty. I miss the days of having a bunch of cosmetic items and supply drops, but I do not miss the days when guns were locked behind them. At number 12, the XM4 in Black Ops Cold War. The prototype M4 rifle. Extremely strong throughout the entirety of Black Ops Cold War's life cycle because it was versatile. Fire rate, movement speed's good, but the recoil and the damage spats are some of the most generous you'll ever have. You could fine-tune the XM4 for any play style. It was a perfect starting point for every kind of player, and I still think it could have used one more nerf with how dominant it was in basically every situation on the map. But with that being said, there was one other rifle in Black Ops Cold War that gave it some stiff competition from the top of the tier list. At number 11, the Krig 6 in Black Ops Cold War. I'm currently on the opinion that the Krig 6 was slightly better than the XM4, as you can see by where I ranked them in my video, but when we made this video a month ago, that ranking might have been different. Now, the XM4 was a bit faster, a bit better for aggression, but the Krig 6, slower, better for precision. So the one you liked, I mean, honestly, came down to you. Krig 6 was an amazing rifle. Low recoil, good damage, range values were awesome. You could delete people from any distance with very minimal resistance from the recoil of the weapon, and even though it wasn't quite as good at close range as the XM4, it was still extremely strong up close. But since we're talking about this rivalry, at number 10, the XM4 in Black Ops 6. Your starting assault rifle in Black Ops 6. It was even better in this game than it was in Black Ops Cold War. And even though Treyarch had patched it a couple times, I still think it's the best rifle in the game overall. Fire rate, good. Recoil, low. Range values, good. The only potential issue you could possibly have is the magazine, but then again, you just attach this gigantic drum mag to the thing as well, so that's not even an issue. I'm going to put it at number 10 because I feel like Treyarch is going to nerf it again, possibly even by the time you see this video. But at the time of I'm making this list, I think the Black Ops 6 version of the XM4 is the perfect way for us to break into the top 10. At number 9, these are going to get good. The AS Val in Modern Warfare 2019. It broke the game when it was added as DLC. A lot of people swear it's still the best assault rifle in COD history. It had the integrated suppressor, tiny 20-round default mag, but it had this insane movement speed. The time to kill was crazy and was arguably the best rifle in the game for super aggressive playstyles. Now, it struggled a little bit beyond mid-range, but if you played to its strengths, the time to kill in this thing was so difficult to beat, and if someone was spraying you, it was nearly impossible to react enough to avoid death. I think it's deserving of the number 9 spot. At number 8, the AK-47 in COD 4. You heard me right. The original Call of Duty AK is still the best in my opinion. Yes, the Black Ops 1 version had a cooler sound and a better recoil pattern, but it is hard to top the original 2007 version's damage profile. This thing was a beefcake. Could kill with 2 bullets if you were using stopping power, while also firing at a pretty solid fire rate. It didn't kick a lot. It wasn't quite as insane as some of the other rifles we'll talk about soon, but it was certainly the best fully automatic rifle in that game. And the fact you could drop people with 2 shots, yeah. At number 7, the AN-94 in Black Ops 2. It's one of the last things you unlocked in the Black Ops 2 progression system. Featured that 2-round hyperburst mechanic, would give you that insane time to kill if you landed the first 2 shots. Even if you missed those 2 initial bullets, still had good time to kill. It did. Solid fire rate, solid damage, total lack of recoil, plus the iron sights and the reload animation are some of the best we've ever seen in the entire Black Ops sub-series. To this day, it has become a staple of Call of Duty, and it all started right here with the original and the best version of the AN-94. In fact, I think this was the second best assault rifle in the game, topped only by Segway at number 6. The M8A1 in Black Ops 2, the first 4-round burst rifle in COD history, still the best. You only actually needed 3 shots to land in order to kill somebody, so that 4th shot was just a little bit of insurance or cherry on top of the sundae, close to mid-range, and the recoil pattern was very easy to get the hang of. Heck, you could even use the recoil pattern as a way to lock in easy headshots by aiming at the enemy's upper chest and then just letting the recoil carry that 4th shot straight to their dome, giving you the headshot for the killing blow, which was always super satisfying. With how many 4-round burst weapons have been added to Call of Duty over the last decade, it's kind of wild that the original is still the best. Now we arrive at the top 5. This is hard. The M16A4 in Call of Duty 4. I might get some heat for putting it at number 5 because I'm sure I've put it at number 1 before in the past, but I just think there's a handful of weapons that deserve a slightly higher spot now. The M16 completely dominated COD 4's multiplayer as well as MWR's because of that time to kill and that insane 2-shot kill range. And yes, despite being a 3-round burst, it only needed 2 bullets to kill someone at a certain range, which gave it the best time to kill in the entire game. Up close, you could drop somebody immediately. Max range, you would need 1 extra bullet to kill them. And since this thing had no recoil and hit scan bullets, it was really easy to drop someone before they knew we were even looking at them. And now we get to number 4. What guns could possibly be better than the M16A4 in COD 4? Well, at number 4, are you ready? The FAMAS in Modern Warfare 2 2009. I went back and forth on this gun and the M16 pretty frequently. Not too long ago, I ranked the best burst rifles in COD history, and I flipped the order on these two. But today, I just feel like the FAMAS deserves the higher spot. The reason they're always going to go back and forth in my brain is simply because they are statistically similar. The FAMAS and the M16 had almost identical damage and range stats, but the only difference was the fact that the FAMAS was in Modern Warfare 2, meaning it had more perks and attachments to buff it up even further and make it even more of an insane weapon. So I'm going to ask you, do you think the M16 or the FAMAS was better? Either way, whichever way they're ordered, they're both top 5 COD ARs in my eyes. And a lot of you probably never even used the FAMAS in Modern Warfare 2, so you may not get an opinion on it, but I promise you it was the sleeper of all sleepers. At number 3, the FAMAS in Black Ops. One of the most dominant assault rifles in COD history. The Black Ops 1 FAMAS fired at 900 rounds per minute, killed 3 bullets up close and mid-range and 4 at max. With stats like that, it was basically impossible to go up against. You could say the recoil balanced out the damage stats, but there's no way you actually could believe that. The FAMAS really didn't have that much recoil, despite having ridiculous stats, and all the recoil that it did have was entirely vertical, which made it easy to completely negate. The Black Ops 1 FAMAS was hands down the best gun in the game, easily a top 3 assault rifle in COD history. I don't think there's going to be any argument, but you never know. At number 2, the M4 in Modern Warfare 2019. When this game came out, the M4 was the best gun in the game. Now here we are more than 5 years later after dozens and dozens and dozens of updates, and the M4 is still the best gun in the game. Not only does it have a very fast fire rate and a very solid damage profile and very loyal recoil, it also has a gigantic list of attachments that can make it even better for basically any playstyle. You could kit it out for close range, long range, stealth, aggression, you name it, the M4 could do it. And then when Warzone came out, the M4 once again dominated the assault rifle meta for the longest time. It's sort of become a meme in Call of Duty that every new game is going to have this overpowered M4 type rifle, but that trend started with the 2019 version. Absolutely one of the best ARs in COD history. And now we arrive at the number 1 best AR in COD history. This was not easy to do. There's so many good ARs that got left off this list, but I've got to have a number 1. At number 1, the ACR 6.8 in Modern Warfare 3 2011. If you used it back in the day, you knew it was going to be up here somewhere. Slightly slower fire rate than its older brother from Modern Warfare 2, but way higher damage. It often killed with 2 bullets despite having 0 recoil and some really good iron sights. It could do it all. The handling was fast. You could use it super aggressively. The recoil was non-existent, so you could laser people from across the map. The damage profile was so insane you could 2-shot people up close and 4-shot them across the map, and the magazine could be juiced all the way up to 45 rounds without any penalty to any of your other stats. If you ask me, this was the best assault rifle in Call of Duty history. My opinions on these topics change pretty frequently, but looking back at the franchise today in 2025 with everything that's come and gone, I'm at peace with my choice here. I think this is the right choice. Let me know where you guys agree. Let me know where you disagree. Let me know what top 20 you want next, and I'll see you soon.